Sorry for the gavel. Do we have a pledge?
We do. Come on up, Pierce. So this is Pierce Guston. He is one of our 5th graders here at the Moore School. And he is bringing something really cool to show you guys tonight. So Pierce, again, 5th grader here at our school. He does so many activities. He is part of the Boy Scouts. He does cross country, soccer, track. He was a part of our invention convention, which he's going to show his invention tonight. And his favorite subject at school is math. He invented this really cool invention called the broom sweeper, right? And it won at our invention convention here. That was the top voted invention. And he also won the Home Improvement Award at the Young Inventors Program Invention Convention at UNH. So he brought it to show you. Is there anything you want to highlight about your sweeper?
It's basically, so I have the regular broom here, and then I cut a broom in half, and basically took some plywood and put it on, and then put walls on the side so you don't have to, so it doesn't get stuck up against cracks or stuff in your house floor or against the wall that you can't get, and you don't have to keep on pushing it off to the side every I don't know, 20 seconds.
Super cool. Super cool invention. We were very proud of him.
That is awesome.
It's a Shark Tank kind of.
Yeah.
I know.
Do you use it at home?
No.
No?
We were saving it for that.
And now it can go get dirty.
Yeah, that's great. Excellent.
All right, you ready to do the pledge? Okay.
It's excellent.
Okay, let's leave that for now. Ready?
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here's, I got you a little something. Congratulations. Good job.
Congratulations, Pierce. Nice job.
Okay, we have our proof of posting, and we have our Pinkerton liaison, Rebecca.
Hi everyone, so some things that are going on at Pinkerton. We have the Powder Puff game on May 9th. English, Math, Social Studies, and Science Honor Society's inductions are on May 11th. We have an early release on May 13th. Junior prom is on May 16th. The underclassmen awards are May 19th. The Jazz and Percussion Ensemble concert is on May 20th. The JROTC Awards Night is May 22nd. We've got Memorial Day off, which is the 25th, and there's a Spring Instrumental Chorus concert May 27th. And then some stuff for June as well. Senior banquet is going to be on June 4th. The Senior Awards Night and Celebration is going to be on June 11th, and graduation is June 12th.
And our meeting in June, so you'll be at our meeting in June?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
You're gonna make her come. That's rough. Week before graduation.
Yeah, I'll still be around.
How do you pick the next?
We don't.
Oh.
Pinkerton
Oh,
does.
okay.
Wait, I don't graduate this year.
Oh, you don't? I thought you were a
She's got one
senior.
more year.
Yay!
One more year, right?
All right. Yeah. Don't mean to rush it along. Thank you very much.
Very good, Rebecca. One more year with us. Good for you. Thanks, Rebecca.
So like when she graduates next year, will like a freshman be chosen and
No,
then
they
they go through
usually, they take the candidates from the student council, and it's usually upperclassmen.
Oh, okay.
It's usually junior. I've never seen anyone below a junior.
Oh, okay, so junior, senior year.
Right. Yeah,
So she
maybe,
was a
so she was a
sophomore,
sophomore,
she's a
yeah, so.
She-
But a lot of the kids we have are junior, seniors, or, so, yeah, she is, she
Yeah.
started young. Good for her.
Next, we have approval of our board minutes from the last meeting.
I just have a correction. My name is misspelled under, where it says motion by Heather Tremblay, seconded by Meredith Wilson to nominate Stephanie Helmig as the chair. Okay. Somebody might.
Do we have a motion?
I'll just amend it.
Was her
It's
kind of?
just, I don't know, it's just a typo.
Just approve it
Yeah.
as amended.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't- yeah, just do it as amended, you don't need a motion.
Anybody else have any? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have, opportunities of public, but we don't have public.
Just Adam.
Superintendent updates.
Yep, just real quick, the only update that I have to my report is that the Assistant Superintendent interview committee met last, 2 days ago, and we unanimously chose Heather Cummings to move forward to be interviewed by the board chairs and myself, and we'll be bringing Heather's name forward for approval at the SAU board meeting.
That is next week, no,
21st.
21st.
21st. Awesome.
Having it a little early this year because other boards want to go to the Pinkerton dinner on the 28th. So,
And good news on the school choice, Bill?
yeah.
They-
Went to committee. Well, 101 died,
Yeah.
SB 101, but HB 751 is still lurking. Could be added to another piece of legislation until the legislature's done. That's when we'll know it's done for sure, but for right now. And also HB 1300 is now going to go to a referendum, which would be to seek voter feedback on a tax cap. So they originally, it was going to be a law, and then kind of through the legislative process now, I believe it's going to go to the voters as a referendum.
Okay.
Those are the two big ones. I mean, there's like 40 others, but those are, I think, the two more relevant ones for us to talk about or know about. That's all I got.
Okay. And then it would be the principal's May report.
Yeah.
So 30 for the screening, is that normal? And then we'll get a couple trickle in?
We've had higher the past 2 years at this point in time. So I don't know what we'll end with.
36.
Yeah.
Any other questions on the principal's report? Standing committees, Mark's not here for building, but we're getting a presentation.
Well, we're getting a
Getting
presentation
presentation, yep.
tonight.
And then we just had a policy, so next
Yep,
meeting.
and for our June meeting, we're gonna have 3 policies. We're gonna ask the board to waive the second reading on them, because we had to make a couple of edits.
Okay,
And then that way, because one of them has to be put into effect before the start of the school year. And since we don't meet until, early September, I think?
Correct.
Another reason why Candia, number 1.
we are your favorite.
Oh, Becky, we already had that conversation.
I had that conversation already today. I said,
In front of.
in front of everybody
all
we
of
were
her
the favorite. I
colleagues.
know you couldn't admit it. He goes, but you are. I said, I know.
I think we talked about that on Tuesday.
He
Yeah,
did
we
talk
did.
about that.
We
I
did.
talked about it
He wasn't
frequently.
willing to
Talk
openly admit it in that crowd.
I got you back.
Actually, I believe Heather was there.
And then we have our EEI representative
Yep.
with a little
Becky,
presentation.
you wanna give a little,
Yes, Adam. Come on up, Adam. So Adam Janess, we need to get, perfect.
get out of the way.
Is here from EEI. He presented to the facilities committee regarding our boiler situation. So we figured it would be best for the entire board to hear his presentation as well.
Thank you.
That's the one. Yeah.
I only had 5, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I can
Can I
read
pass
I'm gonna just put this next to you,
Oh.
just for the live stream.
Okay, excellent. I'm Adam Janess. I'm with EEI, Energy Efficient Investments. Some of you may be familiar with us. We've done some different projects through the school in the past already. Some HVAC work, some lighting work. Like I said, I was brought in end of the winter to look at the boiler room, some of the aging infrastructure with that. And I'm going to show you what I found and how we can remedy some of these issues. So we are New Hampshire's ESCO Energy Service Company. It's kind of small there. That's only a sampling of some of the places we've done work. We're now in Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts, and Connecticut as well. So we do performance contracting. Here's a brief timeline of that process. So we do an audit, which is really kind of what I did about 6 weeks back. We're reviewing the findings right now. And then we'll come back and do a final investment grade audit, which is a really deep dive beyond just kind of the visual inspection that I did of the boiler room. Then if we move forward, we'll do construction and measurement and verification. The measurement and verification piece is the most important part of the performance contracting because we guarantee the savings that we say our systems, after installed, will save, whether it's a reduction in CO2, fuel usage, or dollars. Here at the Henry Moore School, boiler replacement and fuel change. So this is sort of a two-step process. So what would happen if we were to move forward would be to remove the 2 cast iron boilers that are there. They're less than 85, most likely 80% efficient when they were new. So they are probably sub 80% efficient at this point. They do run on number 2 fuel oil, which is a buried underground tank, which is probably nearing the end of its life, which again, if that were to fail before removal, becomes a much bigger problem than just saying we need a new oil tank. We have an environmental concern as well. We'd install 2 new high-efficiency condensing boilers and a new indirect water heater. These new boilers would be 95+% efficient, probably closer to 98%. We would be installing a new LP or propane tank farm with the associated piping. So we're envisioning 3 to 4 1,000-gallon tanks that'd be above ground, most likely somewhere off beyond the parking, out back, with some underground piping. There is a setback from the building where so we couldn't put them too close to the building. We need minimum 25 feet. To kind of play within that 25 feet is probably not worth it. It's probably best to push out beyond those rules. Would also address the water quality issues to prevent equipment fouling and damage and failure. So the new condensing boilers have relatively sensitive heat exchangers in them. Whenever we install new equipment onto old piping, we always like to flush the system, and we will be adding a chemical treatment. We'll scour the pipes and add a chemical treatment so that no solids and sludge and things like that make their way to the heat exchanger of the new equipment. And we would reconfigure the piping. So the piping in this boiler room is set up similar to a home, where there are a lot of zones, a lot of small zone pumps. Those tend to fail frequently, is my understanding. I got a little bit of a story, constant repairs and replacement. So we would change that to a primary, secondary loop, which is a little bit more conducive with the large building. There'd be 2 larger pumps, which are they have a better life, and they're easier to repair. Why condensing boilers? I touched on a few of these. Higher efficiency, long-term fuel costs. I'm going to pause there for a second. We all know over the past month and a half what happens with fuel costs. Oil is the most vulnerable to rising costs of fuel, always. It's connected with international markets. Propane is the biggest source of propane these days is actually a byproduct of the fracking that is going on in the Midwest. So while that fracking is happening, we're producing LP whether we like it or not. To export it is dangerous and expensive, so it is really a domestic product only. It's far less vulnerable to pricing changes. Where we see the spike, if you followed any of the oil prices, you'll see really a sharp line up. The LP did tick up a bit, but that's more just kind of shipping costs. That line stayed relatively flat through everything that we've been experiencing with fuel markets in the past 2 months or so. Again, the carbon footprint is clear, burns incredibly clean compared to oil. The new boilers have potential for rebates and incentives associated with them. Those incentives are still out there. They don't seem to be going away anytime soon. A little bit more consistent and even heating, because we would be adding some more modern controls to those systems. So these older cast iron boilers, they're on or they're off, right? There's no modulation possible. So you get what we call shoulder months, like today, cooler in the morning, you don't need it. So we're not going to push 180-degree water to heat the building instantaneously. We might do 150-degree water and allow it to gradually come up over 25, 30 minutes. What that does on that curve of fuel burning is, it really is quite a bit of savings. And physically, the new boilers would be significantly smaller. That room's pretty tight, so service and maintenance is a little bit difficult. This would allow a lot more service work to go in there, the potential for more controls and some backup things if and kind of future-proofing in that room. Fuels other than oil, again, I touched on some of this in some earlier slides here. Low long-term operating costs, again, you get the higher efficiency, and again, the cost tends to fluctuate a lot less. Less maintenance requirements. Oil burning equipment needs cleanings at least once a year. If they're not kept up with, you can have a pretty big mess in hand. LP does not leave that same sludge. And if anybody has oil burning equipment at home, you know when the service guys come in at the end of the heating season, what comes out of those boilers is pretty nasty. And again, environmental performance, lower emissions, and safety and liability risk, which is kind of brings me back to the underground tank. If that underground tank filled with oil, 10,000 gallons or somewhere in between 0 and 10,000 gallons gives way, there's an EPA problem here. Remediation, they want to test soils throughout the entire property, find out how far this leached, and we've got a pretty massive problem here. Some existing conditions. That is actually the zoning pump setup that is there now. Those are the pumps that consistently fail. They leak. That would all be replaced with larger size piping and 2 larger pumps. Replacement parts, they're repairable in the field. These are not. They're so small that it's worth taking them out, tossing them, and putting a new one in. And you can only do that so many times before it becomes financially impossible to keep up with it. The larger pumps can be temporarily shut down, taken apart, repaired in the field, and then back up and running, usually within the same day. Those are not the exact picture of the boilers, but they are the boilers. That's what they look like. That room's so tight, I actually wasn't able to get an angle where I could actually capture both of the boilers in that space. But those are the low efficiency, standard efficiency cast iron boilers. Baderis. It's a good boiler, but it's past its life. This is an example of what the proposed equipment would look like. High efficiency, a lot of other scientific stuff that the boiler manufacturers like to talk about with the low emissions and things like that. 10 to 1 turn down ratio is, like I was talking about, the modulation. It will allow you to modulate down by a factor of 10 when a full load of heating is not required. Again, some more curves and things like that. The condensing boilers operate kind of interesting. Actually, the colder the water coming back to the boiler, the more it condenses and the more efficient it is. That's not typical with older systems, but this just kind of shows how, when properly done with the proper controls, how efficient you can get up there, sitting between just under 97% and almost at 100% efficiency. A couple of pictures down here kind of connects with point number 3, correct water composition. This is something that I mentioned. We would do a full flush of the system and a scouring of the piping. On the left there is a chemical shot feeder. So a water specialist would come in and they would test the water and they would determine what particular blend of chemicals would be appropriate for the closed loop heating system to prevent more descaling and corrosion of the pipe. There's a little sock filter in there. It's At the beginning, it's maybe every couple of months maintenance, changing out that filter. Once the chemistry of the water gets to a good spot, it's once a year. Isolate it, pull the sock out, put a new one in, and it's good to go. Typically don't need to touch those after year one. On the right, that is a mag strainer. I will not do a new heating system with new equipment on old piping without putting one of those in. There's rare earth magnets. You can kind of see that lid lifted up, and you can see them coming down with these little pins. The water returns to the boilers through there, and that picks up a huge amount of any ferrous solids that are running through the piping. Again, first year, that's a somewhat frequent maintenance item. It's easy, in-house people can do it. Isolate it, dump it out the bottom, and you're good to go. But that will protect the investment of the new boilers. Like I said, I won't do a new heating system without one where there's old piping existing. The fuel change would require, of course, pulling out the old 10,000 gallon oil tank, which is buried right out there in the corner. Propane tank farm would take up about that much space. That's 4 1,000 gallon tanks, some underground piping. It's a little dark, but as you can see, it's on the other side of the parking lot and the playground. There would be kind of a proposed area. That's the safest area and the shortest run back to the building to minimize the pipe runs and reduce costs in terms of delivering fuel to the building. And the slide that everybody but nobody wants to see. Again, it's a little small here, sorry. So we've got 2 new condensing boilers, removal of the tank, installing the LP farm, indirect domestic water heater, chemical shot feeder, mag strainer, and controls integration. These items totaled up for a full turnkey install. We handle everything from permitting through design, install, and the measurement verification is a little over $520. We have potential grants and rebates, and it should say potential annual savings. So that number, that annual savings, will not go down. It will only go up. That is based on my energy modeling, based on the cost of fuel today, which is hard to quantify, to be totally honest. So we're looking at roughly $7,000 in grants and rebates, which could go up. It could go as far as doubling, and $16,000 annually on the fuel budget would be a reduction, which after the grants and rebates and applying the savings would be just under 500. It's a little blurry for me. It's was it 497? So that would be the all-in cost. There's a couple of ways to do this, and you've worked with us in the past, so this is probably relatively familiar. There must be an existing lease here for some of the other projects. That's my assumption. The rate is probably better than it is today, so I would probably steer away from that option. Otherwise, you're going to absorb what the rate is today. There could be a new lease that could be voted on, or it could be put into the budget with a warrant article. A couple of options. I don't know the full scale of the budget here and what's being discussed, but there are a few different ways, and there are some other more creative options, but I don't want to bore people right now. So that would be the new boiler plant. If anybody has any questions, I'll
Regarding
do my best.
the lease, what would the length of the lease be?
So anywhere, you could do 5, 10, 12, 15, you go up to 20.
What's our life expectancy for that?
For those boilers,
Yeah.
with good maintenance, 30 years.
Do you know where ours is at now, like when it's
Third.
end of life?
When is it, 13? How old?
I think there's some discrepancy. I think 13's been one of the numbers that's been thrown out. I don't know that we have the hard number. I don't know that anyone's found the actual installation date.
So I don't know if mechanically it's at end of life, but technology-wise, it's absolutely at end of life. And if it's the type of thing that if the oil tank was to be addressed, would you then put a new oil tank back in?
The oil tank is,
Older
that
than
is due. That was in the Turner report even.
I have a question for you. You said the setback for the tanks was 25 feet?
From operable windows, correct.
And is that just from the building, or is that from the playground too, or?
No, that's just operable windows in the building.
Just operable windows?
Yes. So that would be a fenced-in, locked area. The only people that would have access to that would be school staff and the fuel company when they come to refill.
So that includes the piping through the driveway or the parking lot?
Yes, it does,
And
underneath the ground. Yep, so there'd be a trench and that would be patched and repaved. The one piece on there is the indirect water heater. The water heater that's there now has a few years left in it, but it's kind of like a ship in the basement. Once something new comes in, it's not really gonna wanna come out again. So that would take its heat from the new boilers, and that would make your domestic water more efficient as well. So what happens is that those indirect water heaters, they have a coil built around them, so the hot water that the boiler produces will actually run water through the coil that's inside the jacket of the water heater, heating the domestic water inside. So as you're heating the building, as opposed to just losing that heat or heating from a second source for your domestic, it kind of makes a byproduct of domestic hot water with what you're already creating.
Does EEI do the installation, or do you? Okay.
We use we call it the one throat to choke model.
If you recall, we did the 2.1, I believe it was 2.1 million for the renovations here. And we did, I believe, a 15-year lease, Cindy?
I think so.
But that was a much larger dollar
Bond,
amount.
was it a bond?
No, it was
Was it
leases.
what it was?
And a bond is doable. I typically don't show it only because, especially a project of this size, because you're stuck with it, right? And you can't pay it down. Where if there was ever, there's no, with the lease, there's no, nothing prohibiting from a balloon payment, or if there's ever a surplus somewhere, just paying it off. Whereas the bond, you're kind of stuck with it. So it is a possibility. I just tend to not mention it.
How long would this project take?
Oh, so we typically do work in summer. We call them summer slammers. 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
I would recommend the board that we discuss this at our retreat further and
Yeah.
determine if we want to move forward, and if we do, how we're going to best finance it. When we did our original meetings, is that even if we had enough money in our fund balance, which we don't, people would get prickly because the voters didn't approve it.
Right.
So we would need to determine, would we want a warrant article? And if so, would it look similar to the one we did for the lease, but for maybe just 3 years or 5 years, whatever it might be? So the annual payment would be, really wouldn't impact our operating budget.
Any other questions?
Do we have to notify like the Richters that live there that these tanks are going there?
Yeah, we'd have to, whatever zoning regulations Candia has, EEI would work with the town.
Right, we would come up with design drawings. We would
I
submit
think
that to
Marley
the
lives there, and
fire
John
officials,
lives
and they would
there,
approve
and
or
Kylie lives there.
send us back to the drawing board.
But then we'd have to also take a look at, they're doing the state of New Hampshire is doing some proposed changes to
Yeah.
this area,
Intersection.
intersection.
Yeah.
I don't know if that,
It wouldn't impact.
Encro-
It wouldn't impact this.
okay,
None of them encroached on the school
okay.
in any way. I saw all the plans when they presented them in, I don't know when that was, October, I think.
Yeah, okay.
So are we good for questions for right now? Thought we had Adam. Okay, we're good?
I have one question. I need to get my hand on a couple of those brooms.
Yeah.
I'll give them to the electricians. They won't use them though, but everybody else will. What I'm gonna leave a little stack of cards only, so anybody has any questions that pop up after I'm gone, feel free, send them over, give me a call. I'm close by, so I'm happy to come by and take another look.
Thank you, Adam.
Answer any
Thanks
questions you may
again.
have.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Adam. Appreciate you coming in.
So we can add that to the retreat.
Yes. We'll add that to the retreat agenda.
Now we have new business, deputy school district treasurer discussion.
Cindy?
So, we have been written up, I'm not sure how, for how many years by our auditors for not having a deputy treasurer, because it's in our policy. So we have, a Candia resident who is also Heather's admin assistant.
Oh,
Her
okay.
name is Mimi Pelio, willing to take over the position. She has to be sworn in. But she is willing to come to the retreat to do that.
Oh, okay.
If that works.
And basically, the position is, if any, it's to fill in for the treasurer if needed for whatever reason.
Can we even get a hold of our treasurer?
Well, I'm just saying, that's the purpose, to have an assistant.
So, the treasurer is, it's for the whole SAU? Or is
No,
it just,
it's
did
just
we
for
just vote
Candia.
on it?
We have an SAU treasurer, but that's different person.
Okay, well, the deputy might need to fill in.
Mimi's capable if she has to.
They were on the ballot, I don't,
The treasurer is an elected
yeah,
position.
Martha is your treasurer.
Who?
Martha Ekroth. She's the school district treasurer. But Martha needs a deputy or Cindy will get written up again.
Yeah. I like that idea. Okay.
Okay, so we'll ask Mimi to come. She was excited to come on a Saturday morning. Get sworn in.
Tell her bring
Well, can I come down to the SAU to swear her in?
If you want, we figured it'd be easier to bring her, but if you wanna stop by, just let us
No,
know.
I'll stop by.
All right.
You have what I need to say, right? Yeah, I'll just stop by.
All right,
She does only work noon to 4.
Okay.
yeah, just let us
I'll-
know what day you
yeah.
wanna stop by.
They need to vote on that.
Oh, can you make a motion, someone make a motion and then approve it?
Oh, what was her name?
Mimi Pelio, P-E-L-I-O.
P-I-L-L-I?
B-E-L-I-O, Helio.
I'll make a motion that we elect Mimi Pelio as deputy treasurer.
Second.
All those in favor?
Thank you.
Yep. Next is Narcan in the building?
Yes, naloxone is what it's really known as. Narcan is just one of the brands, I guess. The other schools in the SU have this already, and it's something the school nurse brought up because we can get just free supply of it. It's something she'd be comfortable having and wanting to have on hand for a variety of reasons, right? It could be adults in the building.
Right.
It could be any after-school activities. We would put it with our AEDs right now that are there, so it would be available even when the nurse isn't here. There's no danger for infants all the way to however old you can go for giving it, even if there wasn't an overdose of any kind. It does not do any harm. It only activates if there are actual opioids in someone's system. So she would just really like to have it on hand as a just in case. Kind of like we have epinephrine, right? Just in case. It's just another one of those that now is unfortunately something to have on hand. So we were looking for your approval for her to go forward and have that.
Did something happen, or it's just?
No, no, just preventative. Yeah.
And how do we get that?
There are organizations through the state that have reached out to her where she gets her epi. I think she gets her epi from CVS, maybe, is where the epi comes from. So she's reaching out to the school nurses if you approve, reaching out to the school nurses in Hooksett to see where they get their supply from.
We need to vote on that.
I would.
I'll make a motion that we approve the, not the use of the, I guess, having Narcan on hand. We have a second?
Second.
Okay, and then we're all in favor, yes?
Sure.
No? Yeah. All those, any opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
General assurances.
Heather?
The general assurances are a document that annually has to be signed by the superintendent and each board chair of each district, ensuring that you understand what the district is liable for in terms of compliance with all the federal statutes, from auditing to how we carry out the grants and the use of funds, upholding FERPA, all of the things that are federally regulated for school districts. This year it's 19 pages. And so this is the annual notification that it is due by July 1st to the Department of Ed, and so this would be the time, and we need to reflect it in the minutes that it's been shared with you, that Bill's in receipt of them on behalf of the district, and then you and
Stephanie and
would
I have
sign.
already signed it. No votes needed, it's just notification, correct? Right, they don't need to vote to accept it, do they?
No, it's
Just
just
no-
that they've been consulted, and Becky will reflect it in the
Needs to
minutes.
be in the minutes.
If anyone wants to read the 19 pages, we can have it.
Yeah.
You know, email it to you.
You wanna
Good.
read all the RSAs?
It's a good time. Okay, that's it. Thanks. Yeah, we have to add a couple items.
Oh,
We have to
that would be new business, huh?
Yeah,
We need to make an adjustment
that'll be
to,
under old, but regardless, just add it.
we're adding school calendar to
26, 27.
26, 27 to new business, I suppose we'll add it there.
Yep.
Where did mine go? Oh, we need to approve, I guess the Deerfield Fair changed dates this year.
The reason why we're asking to add it to the agenda is when we did the calendar originally and sought board approval, the Deerfield Fair, my understanding has been always the last Friday in September. Not this year, or next, it's gonna be October 2nd. So we would like the board to modify the calendar to reflect that. So instead of having, excuse me, September 25th as the PD day, to move it to October 2nd.
Do we vote on that usually?
Yeah.
We do?
Yes, you need, I think you need to, did they vote to add it to the agenda?
Oh.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Does anybody in the opposition that we just,
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we accept
They modify the calendar.
modifying the calendar from moving the Professional Development Day, no school for students, from September 25th to October 2nd.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And then,
No, we can do fine, we can just stay in order,
Yeah.
'cause
now the financial summary, does anybody have any questions? I had one. So it looks like the additional legal expenses are about 5,000. Okay,
It's just an estimate.
nothing, I mean, we had
No.
to go at him for the warrant article a couple times and,
no, there's nothing crazy in there.
okay. Oh, and you emailed me the, okay.
Yep.
And then we have the manifest.
Sorry about that. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the manifest for April 3rd to May 7th, 2026, in the amount of $1,290,421.
Do we have a second? I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna pass it down, I'll sign it. Did I already sign it?
You- Yeah.
I did.
Oh.
She did.
And then under personnel, I guess we
Yeah,
can.
yes, we do have somebody, that I'm asking the board, bringing forward for approval. I'm asking the board to approve Emily Eaton as our, be our 5th and 6th grade science teacher for next year.
I don't think
No,
they've seen the resignation yet.
We haven't,
Oh,
but I knew about it.
where's the resignation?
Do we have an official?
I don't have it in, Becky, do we have that in the packet?
I don't believe I do. I don't know who it is.
Can we vote on
Ross
this
Harmon.
first and then do the resignation next month?
Yeah, yeah, you can,
We don't wanna postpone the hiring.
Is
No.
it the same position?
yeah. Oh, see, there we have the letter of I mean, technically, the person
Got the
could change
letter.
their mind, and,
You see?
which is
The
highly
resignation.
unlikely.
Oh, yeah, I have a letter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just do the resignation before you do the
So we
hire.
have two
Okay, so we
personnel
we
issues.
can just say we
Yes.
have the letter, okay,
yeah.
so do the resignation first.
Not Harmon.
Brad Harmon.
Brad Harmon. I'll make a motion that we accept the unfortunate resignation of
Yes. Brad Harmon?
Brad Harmon. All those in favor? I got him and Mr. Wood, Brandon,
Oh,
in my head. And then we have
We have Emily Eaton to replace Brad, and I'm asking the board to approve her nomination.
she's step two too?
That is correct.
How
Masters
many
two.
years is, she's masters, how many years?
Two.
Two, okay.
I'm giving her credit for some of her outside the classroom, so it's only 2 years.
I'll make a motion that we accept the superintendent's nomination for Emily Eaton to be the 5th and 6th grade teacher, school year.
Science, yep, teacher.
Science teacher. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Heather? All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
And then we have an opportunity for the public to address the board.
Thank you.
Nobody is present. And then do we have a reason for?
Yep, we have, so we need to go under 2C and I.
Okay,
We have 3 items to discuss.
C and I, okay.
Yes.
Make a motion that we go into non-public RSA 91-A3, sections 2, C and I. Do we need a roll call?
I do, I need a second
The
first.
second on that?
A second.
Okay. So Kate, have you done this before?
Yeah.
Non-public?
Yeah,
Okay,
we did
Kate?
Kate Knowles?
Okay, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Meredith?
And
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
I'm
So,
not talking.
He's been done before he's done.
Yeah. Informational.
the board meeting is in 2 weeks. Is it,
In a row.
it's in here. Okay.
Yeah, the 21st.
We don't have any business to discuss, so
No.
motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.